Hi everybody, welcome to the South Australian Sports Show. I hope you can stay with us for the next hour. My co-host as always, the great Barry Curtin. Baz, how are you?
Fantastic.
Mate, you follow it because you're involved with the Port Adelaide Footy Club. You follow it pretty closely. What do you make of the draft season now and then the talk of mid-season draft?
I think that I should go on holidays as soon as the last kick is kicked in the... I'm serious.
No interest in draft?
Of course there's interest in it, Phil, but there's so much rubbish out there that goes on in that period. There's so many things that are just made up, just come out of nowhere. It's not, they're not true.
All right, let's talk about one that may not be true. Chad Wingard, and I'm not asking you for private information on that, but there's talk that Hawthorn are now interested in him, and there's been a couple of other clubs, and he's kind of had these cryptic messages going out on his Twitter and Facebook that he's not going anywhere.
That's right.
So is that what you're talking about? Some of it's made up. I mean, I'm sure Hawthorn would be interested because he's a terrific player, but whether he's going anywhere or not, and I've heard the club come out and say he's got another year to go. We're not worried about him going anywhere because he's got another year to go. So, I just don't see how that all mixes. Is it the old one where, a couple of years ago, Koshy said, everyone's up for trade. We'll trade anyone if we can get what we want. Yeah. Has there just been a little bit of a flow on from that statement a year or two ago?
Yes, in a sense. But what happens is, and I'll just use a club here, Fremantle.
Yep.
They will ring Chad Wingard's manager to inquire. How long's Chad got to go? What's Chad's situation? Oh no, he's got another year to go on his contract.
Yep.
So in conversation, his manager will talk to someone else saying, well, Fremantle actually rang to find out. So the next day...
Fremantle are interested.
Exactly, and then it snowballs from there. Now, when you take a player like Chad Wingard, Phil, obviously, I would say 17 of the other clubs would be interested in him.
Absolutely,
really.
I'm sure.
If he was free and available, 17 of the clubs would go, hey, we're interested. If you asked Geelong tomorrow, they go, oh yeah, if we could fit him in, we're interested. So does that make him... What it's doing is it's putting doubt into all the Port Adelaide supporters' minds about whether he wants to stay or not.
Well, if I was the club and I've got my members' tickets out now, I'm saying, well, I think I might sit back and wait and see what Chad Wingard does. So there is some damage to it. So is there a point, though, he's got a one-year contract.
Yeah.
Not even in discussion.
Nothing.
But there are players now that are contracted, that are moving. As I get to the point, contract's really just a contract now, is it?
I agree with what Cripsy said, Joseph Cripps said in the press on Wednesday about he thinks that all players under contract should just be able to, if you want to move them, move them.
Move them.
But it's got to come to a point. But with Wingard, he's got a year to go, and until Chad Wingard goes to Port Adelaide and says, hey, I want to leave, then Port Adelaide are not going to make a comment about him going anywhere.
Because he's not going
anywhere. He's got another year to go. But then he does become a free agent. Right. But if we go back 12 months to the day virtually, his name's in the paper there too.
Yep.
So he's a serial
get. Yep. Because he's a good player. I'm surprised we haven't seen anyone chasing Barry Curtin yet. But stay with us. Coming up on the show, women's hockey. A lot to talk about. Some unbelievable success stories. We've got a guest coming in that's played in 14 premierships at the Port Adelaide Hockey Club. Unbelievable. Dragon boat racing, going to have a chat about that. A couple of events coming up for them.
60-year-old.
60-year-old getting ready to represent Australia. Karate, a couple of young kids coming in to talk about karate. And the great Glenn Manson. He is a beauty, and he is going to talk a little bit about his footy career, but a book that he's released and other things that he's doing in his life to help people. It's a great story. Plenty coming up on the show. Now it's time to get over to Ashley for all the sporting news.
Thanks, guys. Let's take a look at this week in sport. The Adelaide 36ers have shown the US what they're made of with an impressive performance against the Utah Jazz. Nathan Sobey and Jacob Wiley starred for Adelaide, both posting respectable stat lines. The 36ers will play the Sydney Kings tomorrow in New South Wales. In baseball, the Adelaide Bite have continued to bring the talent with versatile pitcher Todd McDonald, the latest to sign on. The Queensland native has nominated Adelaide as his team of choice following a stint in the US. The signing follows news that 6 Bite players have been named in the under-23 Australian squad for the upcoming World Cup in Colombia. A-League news and Adelaide United are through to the FFA Cup final following a convincing win against the Bentley Greens. Ben Halloran bagged his first goal in red and Jordan Elsey struck after the break to bring the Reds to victory. Adelaide United will host Sydney FC at Cooper Stadium in a couple of weeks to determine the FFA Cup champion. In the meantime, they'll play Sydney in the A-League season opener next week. To cricket, Redbacks captain Travis Head has made his debut for Australia in their Test match against Pakistan. His Test cap was presented by fellow South Aussie and former Redbacks teammate Nathan Lyon. Head will be hoping to maintain his career best form in the upcoming weeks as Australia plays Tests 2 and 3. The Australian Hockey League is well underway this week, with the Suns getting the job done against the WA Diamonds. Goalkeeper Ash Wells was crucial in the win, not allowing WA to convert their one-on-one bonus shot. The Hot Shots put up a strong performance, but the Thundersticks came fighting back with a last-minute goal to steal the win. Both the men and women's teams will be facing the Northern Territory at the State Hockey Centre tomorrow. Staying with hockey, the South Australian 70s have taken out the gold medal in Lismore to become the 2018 Australian Masters champions. South Australia put up a lively performance, storming home with a 3-goal win over Victoria. Their performance saw 6 South Aussies chosen to represent the country in 2019. Well done to all. With the 2018 AFL season over, it's time for the trade period to take centre stage. Mitch McGovern has been confirmed a Carlton player, with a 3-way deal being finalised with the Crows earlier this week. To Alberton, Scott Lysett has officially joined Port Adelaide on a 5-year deal after the Eagles decided not to match the offer for the free agent. Power duo Jared Polek and Jasper Pittard have joined the Kangaroos, while Chad Wingard's future is still up in the air. Before we go, head down to the Tivoli Hotel on October 20 for a Kiss-inspired band show. $20 at the door to benefit the Glen Manton SA Country Youth Tour, which is all about challenging and inspiring at-risk youth. Get on board to help Glen and the Southern Slugs Footy Club to make a real difference in Country SA. That's all from me. I'll see you next week.
Yes, you're on the South Australian Sports Show. Ash, thanks for that news. Absolutely fantastic. She's been crook too, Ashley. Yes, but she bounced out of bed just to give us the sporting news, so we appreciate that. The Prez from the Southern Footy League, Craig Warman, in just a wrap-up of the season, mate. We know that Flaggy's won it. We've covered off on all that. But for the Southern Footy League itself, how did you see the season?
Well, when you look at where we started, down to 9 teams in the A-grade competition, the season's panned out really well. Of course, we've had a massive explosion with our women's competition. And in the next...
had a thought about that just before we came on, didn't you?
Yeah, it went in one ear straight out the other for me. But, I don't know.
Straight through to the keeper.
Didn't get a nick on that one.
No.
No, it's been really, really good for us. And of course, next year we look like increasing the competition from just 14s, under 14s and senior women to 14s, 16s and senior women. So it's a really big explosion for us, and it's been really good for our member clubs.
There was a little bit of angst about the 9 team at the start of the year. There was a few people sort of not too happy or a bit worried about how that would pan out. But that it appears that it's worked out pretty well. It's worked out very well because it's allowing teams to have that spell, the bye.
Yep, it certainly concertinaed the results, so to speak. We didn't have the real big blowouts other than the grand final, unfortunately, but in saying that, it really concertinaed the group across the whole, not just the A grade, but the whole spectrum of the league.
Mate, the SANFL had their awards dinners Saturday night. A couple of Southern Footy League people featured in those. Yeah,
very much so, and congratulations to Jan Baish, who was the secretary of the Southern Footy League for 25 years.
Wow.
And Jan did it back when it was typically a boys' club, so to speak, but certainly left her mark as one of the top administrators in the... well, they were, and she was first of her kind in South Australia, so congratulations to her on that.
Mate, a lot of clubs. Sorry, and the other one?
And of course, my great mate from the Great Southern, Gordon Tonkin, who is hanging up the presidency next year. But he'll still be around the place as well.
So he's just hanging it up because they can't beat the Southern Footy League the last couple of years? Is that the reason, you think?
I did put that to him, but in his speech he said it seems to follow him because when he was president of the Langhorne Creek Football Club, who of course we know won the trophy down there this year, as president for 8 years, they never won a flag.
Right.
So, as soon as he left, bang.
As soon as he left,
well,
they're up and about.
Highly recommend that he's not at Morphett Vale or Hove next year, mate. In saying that about Hove, has there been any talk about Barry Curtin or Greg Anderson getting involved with them next year after their antics this year on the footy show?
Now, you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
No.
No, haven't been mentioned at all? No, I wouldn't have thought.
Well, sure. I'm still trying to work out, after all of the time we've spent here, who is actually his favourite club. Because when you weren't here, he was a Wine Fly.
Yeah.
And then a Falcon.
Flaggies.
How many clubs have you actually a member of, Barry?
One more club and I get a flush.
Is that a royal?
One club. No, I was involved with Cove, as you know,
Yes.
and I lived at Flagstaff Hill. I used to drink at the Wine Fly, so I'm a bit of everywhere.
Jack of all trades.
Well, I can't believe Cove don't want you back. Hey,
How can I?
mate, the next year, what do you think will be the biggest improvement other than the increase in the number of women playing?
Oh, look, I think the fact that we were able to consolidate where we've come with that 9-team competition and every team filling that complete void. So from under 13s all the way through to A grade. And another big thing we are looking at the moment is possibly increasing in our C grade competition, because I know there's several clubs in the Hills Football League who wanted to have a C grade, but they didn't have enough teams to compete. So we're in discussion with the Hills Football League to actually allow them to come into our competition, in the C grade competition.
And very quickly, but before we let you go, you had a very, very good year as far as behaviour and these sorts of things goes. There wasn't much written about problems in the Southern Footy League. Will you be pretty pleased with that?
We are pretty pleased. There was one incident in the B grade grand final that's being looked at, but you're going to get one or two. But at the awards dinner before that, we had a SANFL forum, presidents and secretaries, and one of the big things to come out of that was there's a lot of clubs wanting, or a lot of leagues wanting to look at what we actually do with our blue card system, with our behaviour for youngsters coming through the system, etc., etc. So again, that's been a really good point for us as well.
Hey Craig, you, the Southern Footy League, and of course their diffusion agencies, Billy and their support for us. Really enjoyed this year, mate. Hopefully Southern Footy League will be bigger and better next year.
Well, likewise, I'd just like to thank Channel 44 for the opportunity, and for you boys, again, hopefully we can do it again.
Yep, all right. Stay with us. Plenty still to come on the show.